Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 23, and it is now time for the start of our third season in MotoGP career mode, and we start a brand new adventure here today in the Portuguese GP test. So there it is, stain the channel in red, ladies and gentlemen. We're on board the Ducati. You may have already seen the wonderful design from Sergio23. That brand new helmet looks absolutely phenomenal, and we're rocking the red of the Ducati. You may have already seen this on my channel, or maybe even on Instagram, wherever you may have seen it. I hope you're excited to see what we can do in the third, and probably which will be our final season of MotoGP 23, as MotoGP 24 has just been announced. So, ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on both the Ducati and the right hand side of the screen, because that is the package for Spec A. Look at it. It is sensational. We should have a pretty decent season with a package as good as that. Now, I am curious because the second package on the right hand side looks to be a little bit more of a disappointment, but to be honest, I still imagine all of this is better than what we had with the KTM. Now, if I do recall to the KTM last season, it was a 138 lap time. I think we've just barely scraped into the 134s at the end, 137s at the end of the session, but it's all about now what we do in the first couple of laps here with the Ducati. And of course, no matter what we choose now, Bastianini will be on the same thing as well. So if our bike is powerful, then Bastianini's bike going to be powerful as well, meaning that he should have a chance to win this season just like he did this year. But if it's not as good, then he's also going to have to contend with the same parameters that we have. So I am really excited to complete this first lap. I'm actually a little bit nervous for this one. I'm not probably more nervous than I was with the KTM, because I think this is huge. This is going to be quite the package. We do need to improve the handling, but I'm sure that will get better in probably the next test, which will be in Jerez. So we'll see how it goes for now. But here it is. This is the first completed lap time on board the Ducati GP23 across the line. It's a 37.6 already. That is already better than every lap we did with the Red Bull KTM test last season. That is a huge increase, and that was just within one lap. And I would probably assume that these tyres aren't the best of options available either. Usual plan is with any testing is just chuck on the recommended tyres, just go for the mediums, go for it, and then just put in a few lap times. But I've got to say that a little bit out of control going into the Tour VIP, but it just feels fast. That's the best way I can describe it. I know we had engine power 9 with the KTM, but I don't know, engine power 10 seems to be that step even more. But with everything else, the control fuel delivery high, aerodynamic penetration, electronics development all up to 10, the bike feels fantastic. And you know what? I'm having difficulties to say if it feels too much different from like the time trial or even doing the normal quick races. It feels very similar, to be honest. I don't know what lap times we could be looking at if we did it in time trial. I think I did a 136.5 with the KTM in the video with Jack Hammer 46.58, of course, full title for Jack, the MotoGP Esports champion. But into turn 14, we are looking at another improvement here. We could be in the 136s, which is very close to my lap time set with the KTM in time trial with balanced performance mode on. This is going to be it, isn't it? It's time to stay in the season in red, isn't it? Across the line, it's a 37.2, but it's close enough for a 36. Wow. And I gotta say, the stability under braking though, wow. This Ducati feels fantastic. Not quite as comfortable to use as the KTM, I will confess. Maybe turning the bike and getting onto the power, it does feel a little bit different in the sense of, well, the extra power makes it difficult to turn because there's so much speed coming out of the corners, but at the same time, the brakes are really good. Look how clean we go into the Tour VIP there. Because I have had a lot more practice in Portimao compared to last season, but still, yeah, this is night and day. I haven't seen Bastianini put a lap time in yet, so I'm really curious to see what he does. But as it stands, we're 1.6 seconds clear from Joan Mir in second. And then, of course, in third place is the winter testing champion, Maverick Vinales. Oh, Jorge Martinez now moved up to third. Really, really keen to find out what the next package is as well, because looking at it, as you can see in the bottom right corner of your screen, package B has got, yeah, way more control fuel delivery, a little bit less on the engine power, but a lot less on the handling as well. So I don't know if package B will be a good choice or not. I think, to be honest, package A looks to be pretty much the one to choose. But I want to know more about that control fuel delivery, because as far as I'm concerned, that's referring to acceleration. And we really struggled with acceleration with the KTM last season. We lost a lot of time there, a lot in last season, throughout having no acceleration. So I'm going to have to lean into that and possibly give it a better try. But to be honest, I'm just open for ideas in this one. But, oh, a little bit loose there on the front end. Handling 4 is not quite as good as the handling we had with the KTM, of course. Can't remember what we had with the KTM. I think it was like 8 or 10. It was really solid, very nimble, very easy to use. But with a circuit like Portimao, I don't think it's that noticeable. Of course, it's nice to have handling, but I still don't feel like it's going to make that much of a difference. I mean, let's be honest, Ducatis, Hondas all feel very good around here. I've used the Yamaha, and I would probably say I prefer to use the Ducati and the other motorcycles compared to the beautiful handling machine of the Yamaha YZR M1. And Enea Bastianini has put a lap time in. He's on another personal best here, but I didn't see what lap time he did. The last time we came here, I'm sure the AI were doing 36.7s or 37 something. I know in the race they did a 137.5, but for the test, I actually don't remember what lap time they did. I know it was difficult to catch them up. Oh, and Enea Bastianini's gone second. He's within 7/10 of a second. Therefore, he is not in the 130. He might just be in the 137s then, just about. Closer towards the 138s, but give the AI time. They do need to warm up a little bit when it comes to the winter testing here in MotoGP career mode. So onto the power. Let's call it quits after this one, and let's move over to the other package. Across the line, it's not going to be a great lap. It's 137.701. So now it's time for package B. Quick look behind us. I did see Alex Marquez, and yeah, things have changed since those couple of minutes. I wanted to wait it out to see what lap times the AI were going to do, so it took around 20 minutes of waiting, skipping ahead of course, for Johan Zarco and Bastianini to start putting lap times in. But the interesting point there is that was taking 20 in-game minutes, and yet they still didn't put any lap times in I was quite expecting. So still sticking with the medium front, medium rear combination, this time with Spec B, as you can see in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. Interesting to look at. Of course, there's less engine power, less handling, but to be honest, it feels alright. I can't say it feels significantly different to Spec A. Coming out of the corners though seems to be a lot cleaner. I'm not wheeling as much, and I just feel more comfortable on the acceleration. I never used to really wheelie that much with a KTM. I don't think it really had the power, but I think that controlled fuel delivery is making it much easier to get on the power. And I tell you what, this first lap could be enough just to chuck us straight into the 136s, and that's with package B. Package B on the surface looks to be not the optimal one. I don't think many players would go for that one. I mean, it's not great to have a negative in there and a downgrade, but to be honest, it feels really good. I'm actually surprised at this. And I'm also thinking, I mentioned this just a moment ago with Enea Bastianini. Enea has the same choice we do. So, if we choose a bike that is actually a little bit worse, we might inadvertently do ourselves a favour by not having the 120% difficulty AI go crazy whenever they want to. Because he's going to have the same parameters I'm running. And coming out to the final corner here, this is the Galpin across the line. It is going to be, oh, not quite. It's a 137.001. Extremely close to the 136s, but I guarantee I will reach the 136s by the end of today's video, rest assured. I will not rest, I will not stop until we get that 136 lap time. And considering we're just 2,000th of a second away, I can't see that being an issue. So onto the power there. Oh, a little bit of a wheelie that time around, coming out to turn 3, and now onto the brakes. It's hard to say how big the difference is between handling 2 and handling 4. I don't really notice a difference in the sense of stability. The stability is still 10. I guess it's just how easy the bike can manoeuvre around. Not bad, I must confess this is getting quite difficult, this, because they're so marginal that I don't think either one would be a bad option. But considering we've immediately jumped onto this one and gone faster, I am leaning towards now package B, especially for that acceleration. Top speed, you can... It's a bit glitched in this game, to be honest, the top speed, because we had engine power 9 or 10 last season, and sometimes we still got beaten as if we were standing still by some of the slower motorcycles, so I'm not going to take that into too much attention. There was certain tracks like Catalonia, the AI just are terrible when it comes to the straights. So I'm more interested in stability coming out of the corners, that controlled fuel delivery to give us acceleration to just push out the corner with clear path and just go for it. And out with the right-hander there, across the line, it's going to be another excellent lap time. It's a 37.102. Another brilliant effort here on package B. Spec B as I messed it up into the first corner. My first Ducati crash. Well, I don't think Gigi Delinia and Davide Tardozzi will be pleased with that one, but it is what it is. They'll fix that as we get back onto package number A, or letter A, should I say. So we did those 4 laps, and lap times look relatively decent, but I don't think the medium combination is the right combinations to really gauge it. So I'm chucking in what is now going to effectively be a qualifying sort of pace. I can't think of the term on the top of my head, apologies, like a simulation for qualifying. I'm going to run a couple of laps with the soft tyres, and then we'll move across to package B with the soft tyres, and then I think we'll conclude with probably my favourite combination around here, which is being the hard front and medium rear. So we'll incorporate that towards the end of the video, but for now, get back onto package A. Let's see what we can do with the tyres that we have chosen. The Michelin soft front and rear still look pretty good around here, but to be honest, I don't see it lasting very long. Or a little bit deep there going into the right-hander. This is the Samsung corner again, onto the power. Just getting a bit of wheelie with package A. I'm surprised, I really am. I'm gravitating towards Spec B a little bit more than Spec A. I know I had that crash with Spec B, but I felt really good with that package. This one feels like a bit of a pillion on board it. I'm trying to ride it, but it feels odd. Package B reminded more of the KTM, and obviously that was a success. We finished second place in the World Championship, but we already have now the power to contend us. This is a question mark, this one. I need to do more laps. That's the best way to really discover this, but to be honest, both packages look to be absolutely fantastic. Across the line, it's a 37.202, which is a new record with Spec A, and we did make a couple of mistakes on that one. It's certainly opening up for an opportunity to improve with the first package of the two. Now onto the right hand side, nice and tight to the Lagos corner. Little bit of a wheelie there, that's exactly what I was talking about with Spec B. Not getting those wheelies, the bike seems to be just planted out of the corners. This is a tough one. Of course guys, if you are enjoying the video so far, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, it does help out the channel. And of course with MotoGP 24 coming out in May, and this is the place to be to make sure you don't miss a single thing. So definitely get subscribed if you're excited for the 24th instalment of MotoGP. Now onto the power there. We're just down by 67 thousandths of a second as Joan Mir has gone down somewhere on the circuit. Hopefully he's not going to impede our progress. Somewhere near Sector 2's conclusion it seems to be. But onto the power. Then into the tight apex here. Not too tight, you don't want to touch the curb. Did that in the video with Jackhammer, of course. And then into the left-hander for 13. 0.2 of a second when losing. Gained a bit of time there coming out to into 13, now into 14 for Sagres. Now onto the right-hand side to keep on pushing. There's something about Package A that just doesn't feel quite as comfortable with than Spec B. And I'm leaning towards the controlled fuel delivery. I think that's where it is. That soft front is not liking life though, is it? It's looking a bit worse for wear. We have improved the lap time again, but it's only down to 1:37.1. Lap times somewhat erratic. There's only been 2 lap times there that are probably a little bit question marks, but the rest of it relatively good. We are beginning to close in on former teammate Paul Espargaro from season number 1. I don't think I'll be rejoining the gas at any time soon, so I don't think we'll be teammates, so I don't think we care too much about this metaphorical relationship in this game. I will say the options of bikes I had to choose from this season was the factory Ducati, the Gresini Ducati, to stay with the Red Bull KTM, or to downgrade and go back to the Tech 3 gas team. That would be a questionable decision, wouldn't it? Can you imagine me just dropping the video without any conversation or anything and just going, oh yeah, I've gone back to the Tech 3 gas? I can't imagine fans getting hyped for that. But what we can get hyped for is life on the factory Ducati. We certainly can. We're going to adapt to this quicker than Pedro Acosta's adapt to MotoGP. Quicker than Marquez has adapted to the new GP23. Ooh, very close to touching the rear tyre of Paul Espargaro there. As Taka Nakagami swings into the pits. He's going to get a change of bike. And now onto the right hand side here, using Paul as a reference, using the speed. Still not enough to improve, is it? Another 37.1. Gotta say, the soft option though, even though the front is en fuego, it's still very comfortable. It's actually hanging on a lot better than the medium did. Probably wouldn't recommend using the mediums, to be honest, but diving up at the inside of Paul, this is going to ruin our lap time, isn't it? So we just take this one out of the equation, I guess. With 2 tenths coming out there, much better power delivery there, coming out of the left-hand side. Now into the innocuous turn 5. 4.5 tenths is the difference. Don't think we'll improve on this lap time, but as long as we stay consistent, I'm pretty good. I'm relatively happy with the performance we've put in so far. And just once again, just a quick shout out to Sergio23. Look at that new helmet. I know you can't really see it here too much, but if you check out the Instagram post or the YouTube community post, just take a look at it. It's one of the best designs it's come up with, and to be honest, it's a shock because we're not using any yellow on the helmet this season. That's a first. This is all red. We're really embracing Team Red here, as this lap time is going to be terrible, isn't it? Since we had that fight with Paul and the tyre is effectively going now, I don't think there's going to be much to celebrate. So you know what? I think I'm going to call this one quits and let's jump on to the next bike. Let's move out of the way of Paul. So back over to package B then. Just noticed in the top left hand corner of the screen, old teammate, now rival, Jack Miller has come up to second place, looking at 83,000 of a second behind my lap time. We put him on a 37.084. Close, well, I say no cigar. I don't think he's going to get any closer than that. Now we're on package B. I already have a good feeling about this one now. I think, ooh, a bit deep into turn 1. Getting a little bit too ahead of ourselves, it seems. But I want to see that power out the corner. It is better. It is cleaner. Now onto the left-hand side. Do we get another wheelie here? We don't. Oh, a little bit. It does feel better, though. I am strongly leaning towards package B. I've done less laps on package B, but instantly just feels better. It really does, and I've said this 1,000 times, I'll say it again. Racing in any discipline is all about confidence. It's no different to me sitting here with a controller now to racing in real life. If you've got the confidence, you will be fast. If you don't, you're going to struggle. And I would say that's pretty much every discipline and anything you do, to be honest. Confidence is huge, and that is key for us being successful this year. 4th place in our first season, 2nd place in the second. We have to do one better and go for the championship this year. And if our teammate is the beast, the world champion, and we're on the same bike, we're on the same spot, the same spec, you name it, there's no reason we can't win this season. The key of last season was letting battle commence and going full send. It's about staining the channel in red this time. Taking over and winning with the Ducati across the line. This is going to be the first 36, isn't it? It is. It didn't look like it would be, but I'm telling you, the feeling in some of the corners with this bike, with the power on the acceleration, it feels magnificent. This is the package I want to go for. I'm pretty much sold in just 3 laps. You just know, if something feels good, it feels good. I'm happy with this one. I'm not making my decision yet, but I am leaning heavily towards Package B. This is quite a tough one, but I would rather give up the additional engine power to focus on that acceleration. And all I'm thinking about as well is that if Enea Bastianini has a bike which suits him, let's say he's all about full power, then he's just going to pull away on the straights. But if we go for something that's more acceleration related and we stay ahead of him, and we have that power to get past, I think the battles would be more interesting that way, to have more additional speed. But I don't know if it actually goes into that much detail this game, so I'm still unsure. But I'm really happy with the Ducati choice, and I still can't believe, I don't even think I've mentioned it yet, the former MotoGP World Champion, the one who won effectively 2 World Championships in a row, has been sent to the scenery, and that's Pecco Bagnaia. Never to be seen again now in MotoGP 23 career mode if we stay on this Ducati. That's bonkers when you think about it. That's absolutely bonkers. There's been a few changes within the teams as well. Not the rider transfers that we're anticipating for MotoGP 24, but the fact that other riders are now the leaders. So Jack Miller's still the leader of KTM. Jorge Martinez drops now to being the second rider. And Johan Zarco is the lead rider of the Prima Pramac Ducati team. And I think that's roughly it for the surprises, to be honest. So there's been a few question marks along the way. I think Maverick Vinales is the top rider from Aprilia as well, which I don't think is unrealistic, but Aleix Espargaro is considered as the captain of the Aprilia team, so I'm not too sure what's going on with the Piaggio group there. The RSGP in the hands of Aleix has done pretty good. How will it fare now with Maverick? He's down in 6th, but I don't see Aleix as it stands. I guess we'll get a better look later on, but into the right-hand side now. We're up by just over 1/10 of a second, so we could be looking at yet again another... Oh, I went too tight to the apex! Oh, that's my bad. That's my mistake. So after a little faux pas there before probably getting into the 136s again with my preferred package, let's go back to package A and let's run a bit of a race simulation. I'm running what is effectively going to be a sprint simulation over a good few laps. Let's call it 3 or 4 laps. And let's just go for it. Power setting 3, we don't need to mess around with power setting 2, because if I can master the qualifying with power setting 3, get good lap times in, then I'll pretty much do well for the season. So many races last year we had to start from so far behind, fight our way through, and by that point the Beast, Pecco, Aleix, maybe even Maverick have all disappeared, and that becomes too difficult. So this time we've got to focus on qualifying well. So this is going to be my effective qualifying / sprint simulation. And we're up by 1/10 of a second with Spec A. Looking relatively good so far. And considering the consistency, you'd probably have to look at package A being the right choice. With the double soft, we did 3 lap times that didn't deviate with any more than 1/10. Granted, the 4th lap time, which would have been before we picked up after fighting with Pol, would have been significantly slower, but it was hard to judge that one because of the messing around and trying to fight with him throughout the session, so I don't think that is a good indication of what the lap times could be. But to be honest, as I mentioned earlier, as we got very close to the apex there, I actually tensed up ever so slightly. I strongly believe that neither of these packages will be a negative. I don't think there's any detriment with choosing the factory Ducati. Now into the gallop, we're still 0.3 of a second down, so this is not going to be a great lap with the hard front medium rear combo. Across the line it is going to be a 137.3. Not great, but not far behind either. Only losing 1/10 here and there is not going to really set the world on fire, so we don't need to worry too much. But all I can say is, if you check out the previous season, we weren't putting lap times in like this. We weren't doing consistent 137s. Excuse me, low 137s. We weren't doing high 136s either. We were just barely getting into the 138s, I think. The night and day difference this season is ridiculous. I am a little bit disappointed that it seems to be either get the factory Ducati and win, or get another bike and finish in the top 4. I don't think it's going to be possible. Maybe if we go back next season to KTM. Maybe then we'll get the job done. But to be honest, I don't foresee that happening. I think we'll be ready to move on to MotoGP 24. If we get the season done in time, then maybe we'll go for a second, but we'll see when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when it arrives. But for now, I also have the Moto E Career Mode, or Moto E Championship starting, so don't miss out on that. A lot of good races coming in there already as well, so that'll be 8 series, 8 rounds. So just stick around with the Moto E. And I've just noticed that everyone in the top 8, barring myself, have gone back into the pits. Is it a tea break now, is it? What's happening here in the winter test? There's no rest for the wicked, ladies and gentlemen. We're not stopping yet. Across the line, it's another low 137. Consistency is definitely paying off here in the winter test so far. Nice and tight to the Primera corner. Really nailing that now. I have to wonder, the test last season felt harder than the actual qualifying in Portimao, if I remember right. And I don't think we had that bad of a qualifying last season. It's just that we got took out in the sprint by Pol Espargaro, and then in the race, we fell backwards to only getting a single point. As it stands, if we're looking at 2 seconds lap times better every single lap, there's no reason we can't fight for a top 10, top 5 maybe. Maybe even a podium. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I expect big things. I've read a lot of comments from you guys. I've received direct messages from Max, from Potato, from many other people that say the Ducati is pretty much the bike to be on, which we knew this already, but even more than I thought is how damn good this bike is. I have never done a career mode with Ducati. This is the season that everything changes. Now the interesting part as well is that we could get that rare feat of winning on 3 different teams. Not 3 bikes, unfortunately, because of course the gas is still the same as the KTM. It's still the RC16. But not many riders have won with 3 teams either. So that's also going to be a bit of an interesting one to look at this season. But across the line, oh, it is! It's a 36! We got the 36, ladies and gentlemen. A 36 901 on package A. It's world's your oyster, ladies and gentlemen. A 136 here in career mode. And I'm looking at 136.5s in time trial, I think. And yet here in career mode, we're doing it as well. The bike is still yet to be fully upgraded. There's still a bit more to go. And we still have a few more tents to find here as we just begin to lose the front going into the Tour VIP. Little bit eager upon the brakes there. And that has lost us time. Not too much. Lost around... I'm fine. We're really on it here. 0.4 of a second found with package A. Is this going to be a lap time better than my time trial? That would be unbelievable. I hope you're smiling, ladies and gentlemen, because I certainly am, as we got a little bit eager on the brakes there. My apologies. I'm smiling from ear to ear right now. I cannot wait to get underway with this season. We have been blessed by the Bologna Bullets. Ducati could have another... This could be very interesting, actually. This is a really fun point. If we were to win the championship this season on the Ducati, that would make Ducati 3 championships in 3 seasons, but with 3 different riders on their bikes. That would be crazy. Out of the final corner then. Let's move over to package B after this one. Across the line, it's going to be a 37.1. So we didn't stay in the 36, but good enough for me. Well then, this is it. This is decision times. Not done many laps with package B, but I'm still thinking this is the package for me. Ramming accidentally. So onto the power. If we get consistent 136s, then this is definitely the one I want to choose. I want to really look into that acceleration effect though, because package A, although we just did some very consistent lap times there, it doesn't feel all that comfortable. It feels a little bit loose. And maybe stiff is probably the term to use. Oh, a little bit eager on the brakes there. Where this package feels a little bit more loose. It's the opposite of package A. And I need that. I need the bike to just give me a little bit of wiggle room. Having it completely planted and straight is not ideal. Having it come out of the corners and getting planted, the bike just not wheeling and being really controlled and relaxed is great. But regarding the turning, I'm having a little bit of difficulty with package A. I feel like I'm, as I said earlier, I'm riding, the bike's riding and I'm sort of the pillion on it, where package B, it feels like I'm doing a lot of the work myself. I can't really explain it to you, but that's the best way I can describe it to you wonderful viewers. And here on package B, and the first outing with the hard front and medium rear, it looks to be pretty solid again, and as I say, it feels more natural. And that's mad to think, because handling takes a hit here, but it just feels that little bit better. I'd have to give it the acceleration. I think the acceleration in this game is criminally underrated. That's what we've been missing with the KTM for 2 seasons. Now we're on the Ducati GP23. Look at that in the right hand side there. We were losing time, and just by getting onto the power ever so slightly, we're now going to improve our lap time. Oh, to get the identical lap time of 1:36.901. That makes things even harder, doesn't it? Oh, beautiful entry into turn 1. I've got to say, yeah, this package just feels like the one for me. It really does. Let me know in the comment section down below if you're up to this point in career mode. How and why are you making the decisions you're making? My rationale makes sense to me, but I'm having difficulties explaining to you why certain things do the way they work and how they do it for me. But as I say, I've just got more confidence with package B. It just feels right. That's the way I'm working on it. It's a gut instinct, ladies and gentlemen. I could probably sit here and do 50 laps of both bikes and I'd still probably come up with the decision to go with package B. It just seems like the one for me. It really does. Another 10th found in this one. This could be the lap time, ladies and gentlemen. We could be looking at an even better 1:36 lap time. If we can do that in the qualifying, I would probably believe that we're going to get a podium. We might even start in the front row. What an effort. A little bit deep to turn 13, but that's okay, because we have the power on the acceleration. And as you see, the delta's going in our favour again. Bike's not wheeling, so it doesn't matter we've got engine power 10. If the bike lifts up, you can't get the power on. Yeah, this is it. I think I'm sorted. I'm really pleased. Guys and girls, I'm giddy for this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming out to the final corner now. This will be an improvement across the line. No wheelie or nothing. Across the line, 1:36.869. Beautiful. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That is the testing. Look at that. If we'd put in the perfect lap, we could be looking at a 1:36.2. Can you imagine if we got to the 1:35s? That would be unreal. Those are the lap times on screen for the general packages that we've both been using. But let's move across now and take a look at Spec A. Done a lot more laps on Spec A, and there's actually a lot more sector times that were successful. But as I say, it just didn't feel all that comfortable. The lap times look great though. Very consistent pace, ignoring the bottom 3. And then package B, the one that just felt good. Every single lap there was fantastic. Yes, it's a little bit harder to decide and to decipher because we only did 6 laps, but trust me on this one, guys. I think I'll go package B. Once again though, before we make our decision, have a look on screen. Let me know what you would choose, and we will discuss it in the comments section down below. I will be doing the video very soon, of course, not too long. I don't want to keep you all waiting, so I guess I'll try and get it done for tomorrow so you don't miss out. But yeah, guys, those are the bikes on screen. Make a decision if you will, and I will see you tomorrow for more videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Ciao for now. Oh, hi. Didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.